Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be jumping into the world of XRP, taking a look at what's been going on most recently and what we think might actually happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Now if you have not yet joined us in Discord, the link is in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there, so why not go ahead and check it out. And if you are looking for a little bit more from the crypto space, then why not check out the Patreon services as well. We offer a lot more for the Patreon members via the Discord server, everything from AMAs twice weekly through to project reviews, trading, and a whole host of additional benefits as well. So why not check those things out in the description below. Okay, let's make a start here. XRP paired up with USDT on the hourly chart, and Binance is the data source. Now, following on from the previous video that we did on XRP, you can kind of see the structure of what we're looking at here, right? We're looking at this kind of larger A wave up to this this yellow box area, a B wave we were estimating to come down here, and then a C wave to come up to this area. Okay, so essentially here we failed to hit this low point at 43.72. Okay, we did come down lower than this A wave. We bounced up and then we fell down here, and then we really started to have that run as the DXY pumped up. Okay, so right in here, or say the DXY dropped down, I should say, as this pump went up. So, what's interesting here is we failed to kind of hit this level. Now we have come down to this box before, as you can kind of see with this three wave move, and we obviously pushed down, pushed up here, and then obviously pushing back down. So we came down a little bit, but not quite as low as our expectations, and then we've come up a little bit shorter of our C wave expectations based on our kind of forecasting. So let's go ahead and take a look at where we actually landed. Okay, so if we focus this up here, we can see that we definitely fell short of this. So if I grab hold of my fibs and run this up, we move this over to the bounce right here. You can see that we came down, we wicked on the 618, and then we moved. Okay, so a pretty short, but it is kind of where we are, and yeah, that's that done. So then we start to have this area here. Now this moves up quite rapidly, and I know people will be inclined to want to kind of count this as 5, but I just don't think that's really what's going on. To me, it looks like a big A, B, and C structure. So let's go and map that out right in here, and we'll just go ahead and take this up to this area. And here we can see that we pushed up close to the 1-to-1, which would have been 48.52, and we fell short. But again, it looks like it is complete at that stage. So we'll go ahead and run this in with an A, B, and C. Okay, and then this brings us up to where we are right now. So I'll just actually bring this down. In fact, actually, I'll get rid of that larger one. We don't need that right now. Let's just tidy some of these up while we're here as well. I'm going to just pull that across because I do like these areas, because these were areas that were previously working for us. So I'm going to keep these and just move them across as we go. Okay, so let's see where we land right now. So here we can see that we've moved down. We've got a lot of overlap. Looks pretty much like we're about to drop down a bit more. And then we're probably going to be in a good position to roll on up. So what I was looking at there just quickly was this. We have this kind of 3-wave drop here. We had the kind of a 3-wave move to the upside just in the middle. And looking at it, we've gone down with 1, up in 2, still got to come back down probably to this yellow box area here, which will be our support line. Okay, so this is previous area of demand, and that was also acting as supply previously, or also known as supply and resistance, or support and resistance. Okay, so looking at it, let's go ahead and measure out what we'll look for here. Okay, so if I grab hold of this and we pull this down, yeah, so a little bit shorter actually. So 45.53. So a little bit short of that demand line. Let's see what that makes sense. If I pull this in here for a second, just mark this up with our little label. 45.53. Let's go and see if there's anything in this range that could be. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of supports around some of these areas. Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be this one here. I'm going to just put a little slither in here as well. I'm just going to actually mark it up, like find a good area for it. I think right there is actually a really good area. So let's just focus in on what I just did there. So over this side here, I'm just going to lift this up just a fraction. We have these wicks, right? They're coming down to this area. Beforehand, we had this area here, which was a resistance line. We pull back, we can see that this is also turning into a bit of support. Okay, we can see that consolidating right inside there, and also these wicks are resting on it. So this target would be a 1-to-1 resting on that area. Fading to that, you obviously have the one that's slightly lower. So I think that makes the most amount of sense there for 3 waves. Now, when we take a look at that, it does mean that we're probably going to look for a 3-wave move upwards after, but potentially still come back down into these lower ranges after that. You can kind of see that we're still moving down right now. Now, when we take a look at the stochastic RSIs, we're oversold on the 1 hour and the 4 hour, but not on the 8 or the daily or the weekly, okay? There's still room to fall down here as well on our hourly chart, so we shouldn't get too carried away too quickly. Now, if I come over to the 4 hour, you can see it's only just there. So again, yeah, looking for moves to the downside. 8 hours nice and high though, so do expect more pull to the downside. The daily is progressing up to overbought, so this could be pretty bearish longer term, and the weekly is all up there in the overbought area. So essentially, the momentum is saying that we have probably a small move to the upside, and then a bigger move to the downside. Now, I would look at that like this. I'd say, okay, here's A, come up for B, we come down for C, and analyze what that might look like at a later stage. But for now, it looks like 45.53 might be the place to kind of be thinking. Maybe a little bit more than that, maybe just coming down to this lower area, but we'll see how that kind of goes. But for now, that seems to make the most amount of sense. Now, once we kind of have these things completed and we kind of zoom out a little bit, we can take stock that actually all of this here is a bit of a ranging market. It's not exactly doing too much. It's not like doing any kind of big movements that we had seen previously. All of this here is also just ranging between these 2 levels of dash lines. So we can't get too excited. We aren't doing too much here for XRP. And I do think there's going to be a breakdown to the downside at some point, specifically with that weekly being so overbought the way that it is. And so we want to be quite, aware that on the larger time frames, things aren't looking overly bullish or anything like that. We've got this consolidation phase right here, but essentially I think we are going to be revisiting some of these lows soon enough. So just bear in mind that the short time view, term view, so we obviously have what's going on here and now, small drop. Probably by the time this video goes out, it may even be visiting these areas. Then a bit of a push to the upside, only to collapse back down later. And again, we're setting up these higher lows and these higher highs. Historically speaking, these always tend to break down. I say always, but 9 times out of 10, they tend to break down. So just be aware that these aren't exactly bullish. I know people like to think that they are, but that they aren't, unfortunately, that bullish. So we just want to be aware that this particular channel here has a tendency to break down and not up. Okay, so we're going to test this lower range. So you can see this trend line here, for example. Chances are we're trying to test it specifically around this 45.53. Maybe we do just come down a little bit lower. You can kind of see that we're entering into this range already. So chances are that we do come down a little bit lower before we rally up. And then we move up only to break back down again. So just keep an eye on these things. But essentially, everything here looks like, we're about to hit this target of 45.53 and see how it reacts. But it looks like we are going to see a small amount of volatility here for XRP. And then I think we're going to start to see a larger volatile movements to the downside as that DXY really starts to pump up again. So guys, I'm going to leave this video right there. If you have found it useful and informative, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you are looking for more from the service, or why not check out the Discord server, check out the Patreon services in the description down below. Guys, until the next one, have a fantastic day.